Today, we're covering 10 signs of a spoiled child, and I'm so grateful you are here. So, if you're ever frustrated by the lack of appreciation from your child, feel that they're ungrateful, maybe you're worried that their rude child behavior, they're not going to grow out of it. Maybe you're concerned that they're just too self absorbed, or beginning to get concerned that maybe you have an only child and or a child who has like prince or princess like status in your home, who expects to get their way more times than not, or maybe all the time. Then I'm so glad you're here. This parenting training is definitely for you. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kelly Nault from joyfullyparenting.com, and I have the great pleasure of helping moms inspire their child to listen, but without yelling, caving in, or demanding and losing it. So here's the thing. Raising a grateful child in a selfie obsessed, materially focused, and massively distracted culture, it's not easy. And current research seems to point towards that there is definitely not only a narcissistic trend, but maybe a narcissistic epidemic of sorts, which definitely correlates with the rise of social media. And yet, social media, I'm on social media connecting with you right now. It's a big part of how we humans work in our life right now, how we connect. And this means that we loving parents may have our work cut out for us, in particular in the entitled and spoiled child department. So this is an important topic because while narcissism can have a few benefits, one being like often they're more likable short term, it can create huge problems down the road. Plus, in the more long term, loving, patient moms can be brought to their knees and be completely burnt out with all the whining, pushback, interruptions, and strong-willed child demands that just exhaust. Additionally, kids who are overly focused on the look at me type of achievement, aren't I great type of achievement, I deserve that, versus moral character achievement, can be more prone to depression and anxiety. So this is why it's important for you to consider these 10 signs of a spoiled child that I'm going to share with you right now. So I'm just bringing up my notes here. Here it is. The first sign is polite words are MIA. Now, while saying thank you and please can be a learning process, if your child won't express appreciation or have that higher than thou rude child behavior, even when they're prompted, like, then Houston, you may have a spoiled problem with your child. Number two, they're a chronic sore loser. They expect to win and think nothing of bending the rules or cheating the system to come out on top. You know, a member in my free Stubborn Child Solutions Facebook group, she just shared with me that her child will sometimes say, yes, they'll go last in a game, but then they melt down for 30 minutes because they were last in the game, or then they lost the game and then they defend and say that, well, that was the excuse. It was because they were last and if had they been first, and it just becomes this huge, huge drama. That can be signs of a spoiled child issue. The next one, 3, they show signs of manipulation using whining, pouting, meltdowns, maybe tantrums, to push and push until they get their way. They may also prey on your mom guilt by saying things like, but Sam's mom lets her do it, or if dad were here, he'd say yes. 4, being unhelpful is their default. The good news is this can be trained, and we're going to talk about some of that training later. But when asked to lend a helping hand, they may roll their eyes, flat out refuse, ignore your requests, dish out complaints, or bring out the humor to distract with a winning smile. You know, there's one client I've had, and her son was brilliant at suddenly being MIA during chores. All the rest of the family would be helping clear the table after dinner, get it into the dishwasher, get a cloth, etc. And he would just be gone. And it was really effective for him because often he'd be found hiding in a closet with one of the tablets, and he'd be playing a game. So that out of sight, out of mind kind of thing can be really useful for them. And they almost know. So if In their case, it was usually when her and her husband started talking, or she got busy and was in the laundry room. Suddenly they would just slip away and never to be heard from again. Number 5, they instantly melt down when their demands are not met. This is a sure sign you've got a spoiled child issue brewing. 6, they feel justified in their regular interruptions. So inconstant intrusions can make it clear that they believe their needs should come first before manners and especially others' needs. Number 6, Hollywood or Bollywood, here they come. They can be obsessed by dreams of fame or demand to be the center of attention, always. They covet that spotlight and will pour on the charm, humor, and drama whenever there's a potential audience. Number 7, they're defiant toward authority figures. So they may show disregard, disdain, disrespect for rules, requests from people like teachers, elders, and you. Humbling, I know. Number 8, they keep constant score on who gets what. And when someone gets more than them, but that's not fair, is basically their cry. Number 9, their wants, somehow I don't know where my number 10 is. Their wants are expressed as needs. You'll also find they've got little appreciation for the value of a dollar, particularly your dollar. Well, you may know the Spanish saying, mi casa es su casa. Well, a spoiled child is likely to say, su dólar es mi dólar. Now, obviously, we all have our selfish moments. Yet, if many of these spoiled child signs are creeping in, it may be time to reevaluate your parenting plan and see if there's some parenting blind spots that need some identification and some tweaking. So I just want to make a note on only children. Only children, generally speaking, everyone is different, but if we look at the bell curve, the average of only children, most of them share that they spend a lot of time with adults, especially their parents, or one-on-one time with one parent while the other one's working, or the other one is cleaning up, doing chores, etc. The great thing about that is only children can become really independent. Only children can have a great vocabulary early on. Only children can be very close with their parents. The bad part of that is it can also lean to a spoiled child issue because they are often, almost always, the center of attention. So at the dinner table, most of the focus goes on them. There's not another child there vying for some airtime. So what do we do? Well, I want to just take a step back here. What I talk about in the 9-step peaceful parenting path is in step number 6, which is this. Do we let our kids fail well? So what do I mean by this? Frankly, if we make life too easy for our kids, it's one of the main reasons I believe chores not only needs to be a team event, but is one of the missing extracurricular activities we should be focusing on. So, often we're so focused on, oh, we want them to have all these great opportunities and we want them to be in soccer and music and you name it, we want it, karate, and well, that's good for their self-esteem. But we don't also know that what's good for their self-esteem and their true self-esteem are activities helping around the house and being just a helping hand. When I was a counselor at a university, I was struck by how many undergrads felt ill-prepared for adulthood and struggled with entitlement. One notable client I jokingly nicknamed my Victoria's Secret princess. She was a sophomore drowning in debt. Her dad had already paid off her credit cards twice, and I think it was to the tune of 10 grand each time. Incredibly, I discovered in session with her that she bought new underwear every week instead of laundering her dirty ones. Now, why would she do this? Originally, she told me it was because she didn't have time. But the fact was she never really learned how to do laundry before she left home. So this is a perfect example of how making life easier for your child in the short term can backfire in the long term. So, hey, if you like these types of parenting tips and conversations, make sure you've subscribed. And if you're really ready for a stubborn child turnaround, reach out, sign up for a free one-on-one strong-willed child coaching call with me, where we'll identify what's holding you back from getting your child to respectfully listen. I thank you so much for showing up. And until next time, may you be the mother your child deserves to have so you can experience more of the loving family you deserve to have. Lots of love, and I hope to see you soon. Bye now.